This is episode 80 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, sir, not appearing in this game.
You need to get a new one. You did that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, look, I'm a stickler for tradition, and I've decided that that is now my tradition for when I not appear in this game.
Fair enough.
Besides, Monty Python is always current.
I was literally about to say I can't complain at a Python quote. So, so we have my round one Kyber Team event match for you this week. And it's an interesting one. And I won't spoiler. We'll go through it, and you guys will see why it's interesting by the time we get to the end. And so, to that note, sorry,
you say you won't spoiler, but our teammate is currently playing in Kyber. So if we suddenly get a message saying the result of that game, we might just suddenly go and yes or and no.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So. We'll try not to spoil, but we may just do it accidentally.
Yeah. So to that note, I am taking Scum for the Kyber event, and it's a list I flew a few weeks ago on the podcast. It is Bobber, Kanan, and Rook cast. Bobber is sporting Fearless, Proton Bombs, Contraband Cybernetic, the Slave One title, generic Force-giving crew, otherwise known as Ahsoka Tano, and Veteran Tail Gunner. It's an aggressive build of Bobber, Fearless, and, you know, I'm just going to get in your face and hopefully annihilate you.
I shall enter your near proximity, and rerolls shall abound.
Yes. And if they fail, Fearless kicks in. So, well, hey. Rook cast in the Gauntlet is running Notorious, the Mandalorian, the Child, Dropseat Bay, Contraband Cybernetics, and the Swivel Wing configuration. And if anyone is unfamiliar with Rook's ability, it is before you engage, you may take a strain token. If you do, you may change one blank or focus result to a hit. So with a Force mod, and he's got 2 from the Mando, he's consistently minimum of 2, more often than not 3 results off his attacks. And obviously the Child, every time you take damage, you gain a Force back. And the Mandalorian, as well as giving a white reinforce, also has the ability, if you did not defend this round, you may gain 1 non-recurring Force charge back. So basically, if you shoot me, I'm getting Force. If you don't shoot me, I'm getting Force. It means I'm much freer to spend that Force than I otherwise would be. And then Kanan's got Mauls. He's got 2 Force, and he's going to be annoying by neutering attacks. And
Kanan's going to do Kanan things.
Yeah. I am playing Kylo Rene. 3 guesses which faction he's flying.
I mean, my first guess would obviously have been Resistance, because he's definitely, by the end of Rise of Skywalker, he's definitely in the Resistance.
Wouldn't that be Ben Soloe?
Yeah, but he's still Kylo Rene.
That's fair. Would you like to run through the list?
Yes. So the first order player, if that wasn't obvious, is running a really interesting list. Like, I like this list. We have Dread in the Bomber with automated target priority, skilled bombardier, proximity mines, and delayed fuses. Like standard stuff. We've got Grudge with elusive, cluster missiles, proximity mines, and delayed fuses. Jol Jarrod with Daredevil, proximity mines, and engine upgrade. I'll be honest, I do not know their abilities individually. I'm pretty sure Grudge is the one who can re-roll devices when they explode nearby him.
Grudge, when he's ranged, when a device goes off at range 2, he can re-roll 1 dice.
Nice with those Prox mines.
Is I can't remember off the top of my head. Something to do with boosting, I think. Dreads, I believe, is when you reload if someone's in your bullseye something. Because we're on this, and I was paying attention.
After you reload, each ship in your bullseye gains a deplete. And Jol Jarrod is after you perform a boost, you may spend 1 charge to remove 1 non-lock red or orange token. So they're both good.
Yeah.
Both solid. Not like nothing spectacular, but like when they happen, it's like, oh,
I mean, the Daredevil procs mine on Jilgerod I quite like. It's it gets you that.
Wait, Daredevil, like he can do a Daredevil boost and remove the stress.
Yes, he can.
Oh, that's spicy. Anywho, right? Because I'm just like my mind has just been blown by that combo because the only white boost you have is the system phase. So your system phase Daredevil boost, remove the stress, continue on as normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Oh, wait, no, he has engine upgrade. Never mind. He has regular boost. But Hollow in the TIE BA, haven't seen one of those in a while, with Proud Tradition, Pattern Analyzer, and Concussion Missiles. And he is the guy who must pass a token around, I believe.
Yes. Haven't
seen him in a while. Nice to see the BA Interceptor entering the battlefield. And finally, Scorch in the TIE FO with Fanatical Predator and Advanced Optics. Like, I don't know, standard good stuff Scorch, right?
Yeah.
He's a good 3-point ship.
Yeah, for sure. So the scenario for round 1 of Kyber is salvage mission, which I'm kind of all right with in the sense of the only ship that I have that really needs the repositions and stuff that the towing shuts down is Bobber. So pick up 2 and hope I can kill stuff, but the list is very good at killing stuff, so getting 2 keeps me in the game and we just outkill.
Whereas on the first order side, like realistically Scorch is the only one who's wants to pick up
this is a good matchup for me in salvage. Other scenarios maybe not so much, but So, my opponent is first player, so gets to place first. And I can't remember. No, I do remember which one he places. So, he places, as we're looking at it, on his side, on the right-hand side, about 2/3 of the way up the board. It's not as far as you can go. Yeah, it's just above where 2 and 2 would be, if that makes sense. Yeah. I place one on my side, a quarter of the way in from the right-hand side, as close as I can get it, because I'm going to get Rook to pick that up turn 2. And then happy days. Then he places it as far left on my side as he can and as close to his board edge. And so I basically have to make a decision of we're going to create a cluster somewhere that's going to be on his side. But I was kind of all right with that because I came to the same assumption that you did, that he's not going to want to pick up with a lot of ships. So I don't think scenario is going to be the overriding factor in this game.
Yeah.
So in the end, I place it center, as close to his board edge as I can, which sort of creates a cluster on that right-hand side, which is where I will look to do the initial joust, I suppose. And then obstacles. So we have got... I brought the 3 small rocks because we want small rocks. And my opponent brought the 2 Pride of Mandalore debris and the U-shaped smallish mid-rock. And I can't remember the croissant, that's the one. I can't remember the exact order again, but I know that I 2 and 2'd the debris in his, as we're looking at it, top left on his side, to basically get it out the way from the cluster of obstacles. He placed the large, longish debris directly up above the objective close to my board edge, which I was kind of okay with because I think what I do there is I stop turn 1 and I just one bank turn 2, pick it up, and then a bank to the left basically brings me straight into the clear space with Rook. And then the 4 small rocks basically do a curve from just my side of the center objective round to the left, and then up into a 2-and-2 on the right. Trying to think of a... It's a backwards J, almost.
Oh, it's in a backwards 7.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, backwards 7.
And then we go to ships. And we overlap on 3 and 5, so all of mine. But he places Grudge first. And Grudge goes slightly more than a third of the way in from the right-hand side.
A third of the way in from the right at the back of the board.
Yeah.
Like...
Then he sets up Dread, who goes a third of the way in from, or maybe slightly more than a third of the way in from the other board edge.
But positioned like at as far forward as he can. At range 1 to the edge. So
I set up Rook below the objective where I think a stop 1 bank will fit. I set up Kanan just to the left of centre facing Rook, so that I can do a 1 straight and then judge a bank to basically follow him and protect Rook, because I think he needs the most protection. Jordrod gets set up just to the right of Grudge, almost on the centre line, and as far forward as he can. Hollow goes out to the far right as we're looking at it, on Rook's side, but I'm sure he won't be staying there. Oh, and I missed Scorch, who's on the far left side. And so because he's done that, I place Bobber on the left-hand side, thinking, I've got an opportunity here. Maybe I can jump on Scorch, although I do have to be wary of the bomber.
Wary, yes, but not like you're like its big threat is the prox mine. So I think like trying to jump on 2 of his ships with Bobber is perfectly fine because Hollow isn't going to get there in time, and the other bombers aren't exactly fast.
That's exactly what I thought. Now watch what happens as we get into it.
Okay, yeah. I'm already liking this then.
Yeah, like these bombers catch me off guard so much in this game.
Yeah.
Right, I had better actually speed it up so that we're not watching it at normal speed.
No, live. This podcast shall be, I don't know, hour and a half, however long this video is.
Okay, so we roll off, and I am first player for turn 1. And we'll just do the system phases. And I think they're
already boosting.
Yeah, so Dread boosts forward, and Jildrod boosts to the left, so that he's facing towards Bobber already, or where Bobber's going to be.
Please let them both have like 4-straighted, and Dread will barrel roll to the left, and Jildrod will just 4-straight, and then you're actually facing 3 ships.
Well, let's wait and see, shall we?
Okay.
Rook does his stop. And Kanan does a 1-straight and takes the focus.
Grudge does a 1-straight and takes the focus.
Yeah. So does Dread.
Okay.
A 1-straight from Jildrod. I think a 2-straight from
Scorch. And everyone's focusing so far.
And everyone's focusing. Now, Bobber does a 3. Because I thought about doing... Was that a 3 or 2, actually, maybe? I thought about gutting it with the 4 and the boost, but I was like, if he's gone fast with the bomber and he just gets into a position where he can boost and start dropping the prox mine on me, like, that's a surefire. That's probably the easiest way to kill Bobber.
So that is a surefire way to throw away your 9-point fire spray.
Yeah, exactly. And like, because they've got that system phase boost, it's so much harder to go, oh, well, I'm just in front of them. There's like you'll see a couple in this game where I think he can't boost out of that, and boy does he. Sorry,
I would focus Bobber here.
Yeah,
I would focus Bobber here.
I was not boosting. No way was I boosting. And then Hollow does a 1 bank and barrel rolls away.
All right, so his entire list is pointing towards Bobber. I mean, makes sense. You're the chunk of a big chunk of your points are on that side. So if you can get all of his guns, should be straightforward. Now the problem you're going to have is if Bobber's out on a limb, and Rook is still doing the one bank, and Kanan isn't in range to do the old his magic. This is where things get interesting.
Yeah. So we roll off for turn 2. And I am second player, which is quite useful. It means Bob's going last.
Yeah.
And we go to the system phase.
So Grudge boosts 1 straight. Dread does a 1 bank boost. And Gerard does a 1 straight boost. Yeah, they're going to be on Bobber this round.
You know what you're saying about them not being fast, right?
I mean, they're not that fast, though, are they?
I mean, they've got a boost, a 4 straight. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong, they're pretty fast, but they're telegraphing pretty hard.
Yeah. So Grudge does a bank in towards the centre.
That looks like a 2 bank. No, 1 bank.
I thought it was a 1. I goes for a barrel roll. Away down towards Rook.
Okay, interesting. I think, he's maybe clearing the way for Hollow.
4 straight from Dread. Puts him 3 ships directly in front of Bobber. He then barrel rolls to the left.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like that.
Rook does his 1 bank and picks up the crate. Kanan
does gone the other way.
Oh, did you think I was going left?
I thought you might go left, yeah.
No. Because I want to go into that big space in the centre.
Yeah,
so Kanan does a 1 bank behind and just takes a focus. Jill does a 4 straight.
Yeah.
And takes a focus. I think it was a 2 bank from
Scorch is a 2 bank and focus.
And then Hollow does, I think, a 4. Might have been a 3, actually.
Yeah. That looked like a 3 to me.
Which I was a little surprised by. I thought he might have gone a little faster.
Yeah, the barrel roll from Grudge made me think that Hollow was bombing it down this lane.
Yeah. I mean, that is close enough that, if your eye's not quite, and it's better safe than sorry.
He probably thought the same thing I did, that Rook and Kanan were turning left, because then if you turn left, then Hollow and Grudge are quite nicely on Rookcast's flank.
Yeah. And Hollow takes a focus. Bobber 1 hard.
Ooh, nice. Because
I was
in my head, I was like 4 straight, go fast.
So that was my first thought, but I thought that was the easier block for the bombers. If Dread hadn't have barrel rolled, there was a chance the 4 straight blocks.
Yeah.
I was sketchy nervous when he barrel rolled because I thought the 1 hard blocked.
Yeah.
And it's damn close. But I was also thinking, I can 1 hard, I can boost away. If they're going to follow after me, I've got proton bombs. And I'm heading back towards Rook and
and I think you boost it, right?
Oh yeah, I boost because I dodge all the arcs except. Oh, I think I dodge Scorches
Possibly
as well.
Scorch. Who knows? Scorch might have a shot, but it's a long shot, right?
So Hollow passes over the focus to Grudge.
Nice little coordinating.
No shot for him, so it goes to Bobber, who has range 2 into the 2 bombers, but no Scorch. So I go into Dread because Dread has no tokens. I roll 2 focuses and a hit. I spend 1 force because I don't think I'm getting shot. For 2 hits, he rolls 2 of 8s.
Easy peasy.
Then we start checking some other arcs, and nobody else has a shot. So I claim myself an objective point.
All right, 1-0. The slow grind to victory.
And is this the objective point I forget to put up on the overlay? I think it is. I noticed part way through I was 1 less than I thought I was. Apparently it was the first one. So here comes mistake number 1 for me, I think. But I'll get your opinion on it, and it's what Rook does.
I can't remember the gauntlet dial off the top of my head, but I'm thinking like fast bank, or if you have a 3 hard, 3 hard. I don't think they have a 3 hard.
They do have a 3 hard. It's red.
Okay, then you red, maybe not so.
So we roll off, and I am first player this turn, and we go to system phase. Grudge does a boost. Straight.
Dread does a bank boost.
Dread does a bank boost to the left.
Gerard does a daredevil boost.
Does a daredevil boost. And I drop a proton bomb.
Yeah, and Georgia Gerard spends his ability to take away the stress as well.
Yeah. And I spent the proton bomb because I was like, they're behind me. And also Scorch is behind me. Like it might, it might either Scorch comes in and he takes the crit, or he's forced to move away.
I mean, I think this is correct.
And so Grudge does a 3 bank, straight through in between the obstacles, and takes a focus. I do a 1 bank with Rook.
So I would have said 2 bank, or 2 or 3. Try and just get around. So
I was just thinking that a 1 bank keeps my arc sort of, I suppose, tighter towards Hollow, because I'm further down the board. So
yeah,
what I actually think the correct call there is the red 3 hard.
Yeah. Like I can see that as well. Because my gut is like, you want to get fast around this corner.
Yeah, exactly. So I 1 bank and I take a white reinforce just in case Hollow has turned in and wants to start shooting. But I actually think that the red 3 hard without. I mean, I've got the force mod. I've got his ability mod. Stress doesn't shut any of that down.
And it would have got me. You are a gauntlet.
Yeah, it would have got me facing directly into the ball center. There's a nice, easy 2 straight blue maneuver next turn. Then I'm smack in the middle. Then I can just stop and turret if I need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the time, I remember thinking, no, I should have dialed in the 3 hard.
Yeah. Like I think a bank is better because I think staying on stress is fine. I just think you want to bank fast around, and then you have a lot more options next round if you're not stressed. Like even if you don't have a shot into Hollow, I like at least in my head, I think you want to be unstressed but close to the center.
I mean, to be fair, I'm unstressed now, so.
Oh yeah. Like, well, I'm saying in exchange for the 3 hard. Like, I think the 3 hard is fine. I just think the bank, like a 3 bank, get out the way, point your front arc near the middle of the board, and just get ready for next turn.
So Kanan follows with a 1 straight and takes a. And I boost. No, I boost because I just want to. I think it gets me out of Grudge's arc.
Right. Okay.
Like, I'm not worried about the 2 other bombers because I thought they're going to be behind a shooting bobber.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets me out of Grudges. So Dread does a 3 hard, 2 hard.
That looks like a 2 hard.
Yeah, it does a 2 hard and takes a focus. And then a 4 straight. 4 straight? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a 4.
Yeah, 4 straight from Geldrod, which puts him smack in front of Bobber to the side. And he takes a focus. And I wasn't expecting a bomber to be there.
Yeah, that's acceptable. Do you do 1 hard?
I think I do a 1 bank.
Okay.
Scorch comes in and takes a focus, and I bump. And
1 bank to the left, bumps into Gerard.
I take the red focus because although I've got the rerolls, I'm getting shot from Scorch, I'm getting shot from Dread.
And you're eating your own proton bomb.
And I'm eating my own proton bomb.
I still think the proton bomb was correct. It's just unfortunate that your play. He it looks like he called you going fast, basically.
Yeah, but it's like those 3 turns. Those bombers have gone from right up their board edge to the left-hand side and down. Like, they are so much faster. And, like, they've only done 1 fast straight maneuver in that. Like they get so much further than you think they get. Hollow comes in with a 5 straight.
That man boosts. He is a psychopath.
No, he does not boost. He lock focuses and takes the strain. The bomb goes off. It does catch Jewel as well.
Okay, that's good.
You can just see the line there above Bubba. So I catch Scorch, I catch Jewel, and I catch Bobber. So we all lose a shield.
Fanatical Online.
Pretty much. And then I get a shot.
Hollow passes his strain token, or whatever token he took for target lock, over to Grudge. So Bobber range zeroes out the front into Jewel. Gets hit crit. Nice.
He rolls evade focus. He's got a focus and opts to spend. Then I
spend that.
And then I veteran tail out the back into Scorch. Roll hit crit out of hand.
Yes, that is the way.
Scorch rolls focus blank. Spends his focus, takes the crit. And the crit is a stunned pilot, so largely irrelevant.
Negligible, but can be relevant.
And then Hollow gets his shot. It's range 2 into Bobber. He spends the lock, spends the focus for 3 hits. I roll blank focus. I re-roll the focus into the blank into a focus, and then I spend my focus for 2 evades. So blinks another one off. Jewel has a range 3 shot into Kanan. I Kanan that down and dodge.
Yep, because he rolls 1 hit and you roll 2 evades and a focus.
Yeah. Then it goes to Scorch, who takes the stress for the dice and rolls 2 blanks and a hit.
All right, so it's good you stripped that focus because the advanced optics made that 2.
Yeah, I roll 2 blanks. I re-roll into evade focus.
Everyone loves
we go to my 3s who don't have shots. It then goes to his 3, Dread, who has the range 1 shot into Bobber. He rolls focus hit crit, spends his focus for 2 and a crit. I roll evade blank. I re-roll into an evade, so that's 1 more shield. And then Grudge doesn't have a shot.
All right, the plinking is happening, but you're defending like pretty nicely.
It's what Bobber does, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's blinking through. And I score another objective. So up to 2.
But I do not like Bobber's position.
No, I don't like Bobber's position here either.
I'm going to be brutally honest.
Like, I'm taking prox mines. There's nothing I can do about taking prox mines. So what I do is, and you'll find out in a sec, I dial in a maneuver that I have to accept I'm taking prox mines this turn. I dial in the maneuver I think will stop me taking prox mines next turn.
Okay. Like turn to the right?
It's not that.
Okay.
Like, my assumption is Bobber survives on something like maybe 2 or 3 hull if he's lucky.
I mean, 2 prox mines.
Grudge rerolls.
I reckon 2. I reckon 2 is average.
What? Left?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 3.
All right.
3 is still 4 damage from 2 prox mines.
Yeah, but like, because 2 damage is automatic, then you roll 4 dice and you have 2 rerolls.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the odds are better than people expect. And that's not including any random crits that get rolled.
Yeah. So we roll off, and I am second player. Grudge does a system phase boost, and then decides not to drop a prox mine because he thinks he hurt himself.
I mean, I think he's right.
Dread boosts to the right and drops a prox mine. So I take.
Does it hit Bobber?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
It sure does.
So
grudge time.
I take the shield, and then I roll hit crit. I ask him if he'd like me to grudge one of them, but he politely declines.
I mean, that's fair. You should ask. You should ask to make sure your opponent doesn't miss any triggers.
And the crit is a damage sensor array.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. So down to 4. He then daredevils Jill to the left and drops a prox mine. And I drop a proton bomb because I wasn't entirely sure I survive this round.
Yeah.
And
I mean, why not? Hollow's right there, Scorch is there.
Exactly. So I was like, yeah, I might as well. Grudge does a 1 straight.
There's the strain. Happy days.
There's the strain. Takes a lock onto Rook.
I mean, that makes sense. To me, it looks like your opponent is planning these guys' moves. Bobber likely dies to, if not the prox mine, Hollow's right there.
Yeah. My thinking with that is he wants to make sure that Grudge is range 2 of that prox mine.
Yeah, so, simple as that.
There's a chance he does the 4 damage. So, a 1 hard from, I think a 1 hard, maybe a 2 hard.
That's a 2 hard, I think.
2 hard. 2 hard from Dread, which sticks him just the other side of the prox mine. And takes a focus. I do the 2 hard with Rook to slam myself into the center.
Okay, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
And I take a focus. And this is a mistake. I do this a couple of times in this game where I take focus mods with Rook. What I should be doing is taking target locks or reinforce.
Yeah, because you have your ability, right?
I have my ability. I have the force. I have good regen on force. I don't think actually I should take focuses. A couple of times it pays off, but that's just luck.
I think you take focuses if you think you're just getting shot a ton, right?
If I get shot a ton, do I not take a reinforce?
Yeah, maybe, but I feel like.
Because Lando gives me the white reinforce, so I'm not even stressing myself.
I guess you do have the white reinforce.
So
my thinking is in the current situation where the bombers are flanking you, if they were all shooting you and a couple of them were front and back, then maybe you just focus and be we're on defense this round.
Yeah, but I know that 1 isn't shooting, 1's obstructed. What I should have done was locked Hollow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there.
Because
even just locked Jill Gerald. I'm pretty sure you got him an arc.
I was thinking either I get the lock to use on Hollow, or he's forced to chuck that away as opposed to a strain or a deplete or something like that. So,
and I guess there is something to be said for if you lock Hollow, you know it's probably going right. Yeah. It's going somewhere else that'll be annoying for you. So maybe I would argue just locking Georgia Gerald because you know it's going to be there, and I'm pretty sure you got a shot.
Yeah. Kanan does a 3 straight. To ditch the stress from the boost last turn, basically just trying to get some distance. He focus and rotates the turret to the left. Because of where Rook is, I get the feeling that the next few turns, Kanan's just going to bank around him, basically.
Yeah. In fact, actually, you've got Kanan. You do not need focus mods.
Yeah, exactly.
Your opponent's shots are negligible at this point.
Yeah. So, there is only a little, but something to bear in mind next turn.
It's optimization, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jill goes fast and bumps into.
Thus making my play of target locking Georgia Gerard the incorrect play.
I mean, I knew that, but that's hindsight. Yeah. I didn't know it at the time. I was expecting a slow maneuver. I was expecting a 1 straight, something like that. But bumps and opts not to take the red focus.
I mean, I think that's fair.
He's getting
the blues on the bomber aren't amazing, and he wants to try and system phase boost next round, right?
They're straight, I believe.
Yeah, just the straights, and
exactly.
And he can't boost if he's stressed.
I mean, he's getting a range 0 or.
Oh, Kanan.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's funny you mentioned the boost. I didn't think the boost would fit, forgetting he has Daredevil because that probably does fit.
Yeah.
But anyway, Scorch does a 2 hard to the left. Ship's left, right as we're looking at it. Ditches the stress. and takes an evade. And a sloop from Hollow.
Ooh, okay. Pattern analyzer, get out of there, boy.
Pattern analyzer, get out of there. I mean, you'd think, wouldn't you? He locks Bobber. And then Proud Tradition's the focus.
Okay.
I pop Contraband. I attempt the 4K.
Hey. Oh.
I kind of wish I put the template down, actually, because I think it's closer than it looks.
Yeah. So bumps into Dread.
I mean, I was always going over that prox mine.
Yeah.
There was no maneuver that stops it. So I do bump in. I take the red focus because I've contrabanded, so I'm now triple stressed.
Yep.
I take the hit, puts me down to 3. I roll. I get 1 crit, 1 blank. Grudge reroll into another blank. So take the crit. It is a direct hit. I forget.
I was on 2.
No, it's not. Because I took the damage, then I took a direct. I forgot to add the direct damage in. Bobber is on 1.
Okay.
And I'll remember, I think, like the next turn or something, and you'll see the overlay come down. Yeah, I just ended up doing that. Yeah, Bobber's on 1. The upside is, I don't think Bobber's getting shot this turn.
No, he's not.
So, there is that.
There is that indeed. And you have 2 shots. You got a nice, looks like a range 1 into Grudge and a range like 2 or 3 into Scorch or Hollow.
And 2 rerolls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not great, but... and the proton bomb goes off. In a second. We should remember it. There we go. Just catches Hollow, who blinks his shield. Hollow yeets his focus over to Scorch. And Hollow has a range 3 shot into Rook. He rolls hit crit. And
so you don't Kanan this?
I didn't Kanan that. Range 3, okay. I thought I'd be all right.
I mean, yeah, you probably are. But...
I rolled 2 evades. What I forget to do here, and what I should have done, was Notorious, Tim.
Notorious.
Yeah. But I do forget the Notorious.
Yeah, because Bobber is about to clap him.
So Bobber goes range 1 into Grudge. He rolls hit, focus blank. He re-rolls the blank with his ability into a hit. Spends the Force and Slave 1 title for 3 hits and a crit. Grudge rolls blank focus, takes the lot. So 2 shields, 2 damage. The crit is a fuel leak. Ooh, that pesky fuel leak when it comes to 2 health left.
Yeah.
And then I Veteran Tailgunner into Scorch. I did think about Hollow, but I wanted to try and strip the focus off.
Yeah.
All the evade. I thought if I strip the evade, Rook goes into Scorch.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
Rerolls and the focus token for 3 hits. Scorch rolls 2 blanks and an evade.
All right, spends that evade, I assume.
Spends the evade, takes the damage.
All right, so Scorch is down to 1.
Scorch is down to 1. Scorch has a range 2 shot into Rook. He spends a stress to make it 3. I spend a Kanan to make it back down to 2.
Yeah. But I still think the Scorch play is correct because, like, if he doesn't do it, you're making it 1, right?
Well, we had a quick chat about the order there, and I was like, my take on it is it's player order. So he's got to make that decision first, because they both trigger when you engage and...
Yeah.
Well, actually, technically, no, it's when you declare an attack, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's the same trigger. You're building the attack dice pool, I suppose. So my assumption is you'd go player order. I mean, I would have Kanan regardless, so
yeah,
it doesn't hugely matter. But yeah, so 2 dice. He rolls blank, hit. I roll 2 evades.
Nice.
Dread, range 3 obstructed. Yeah, I'm rolling 4 dice on a gauntlet.
I mean, you're talking to me like that. That to me, that's just normal, isn't it?
Well, yeah. He rolls.
Does the gauntlet not have 4 out the front?
Well,
you mean attacking?
I
thought you meant attacking. I was like, wait, I play Previsla. Like, isn't that normal?
No. I meant I'm rolling 4 greens on the gauntlet.
Okay, yeah, that's not. I've rolled 4 greens on a vulture.
He rolls with single crits, and I roll an evade.
Lapse in Canaan.
He range 0s into Rook with Duel. Oh, because he missed it and went straight to. I don't think he clocked that you could range 0, or just forgot you could range 0. So we nip back to that. Rolls 1 hit, and I spend a force to dodge it, and then get the force. And then I do the range 2 shot into Scorch with Rook. I take the strain for the ability. I roll hit 2 blanks, change it with his ability for 2 hits. Scorch
needs paint.
3 blanks.
Yeah, as I said that, I saw it come up and I was like, bye-bye, Scorch.
Scorch dies. That nets me 3. Kano has a range 2 shot out the side. Rolls hit focus, spends the focus for 2 hits. Duel rolls evade focus, so takes another 1. So that's the shields down.
Yeah, the bombs are slowly getting chipped.
And then I score a point from the objective. So at the end of turn 4, it's 6-0. But Bob was on 1 health. And he's got Proxmines in front of him.
Yeah. And Hollow is right there.
And Hollow is right there.
And Bobba has 3 stress tokens.
So, Bobba has 3 stress. But there's no way Bobba should survive a Proxmine or a shot from Hollow, right?
I mean, you literally can't survive a Proxmine. You'll feel on 1 health because the Proxmine auto does 1 damage. So Dread, straight boost, Proxmine, done.
So I will do a slight spoiler. This turn here contains the game, the mistake that decides the game.
Okay. Like, I'm saying it like Dread. 1 straight, Proxmine, done. Game's probably won. Sorry, boosts 1 straight, I meant.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So we go to roll off, and I'm pretty sure I am second player. There is a 1 bank boost system phase from Grudge.
Yeah, makes sense.
There is a 1 bank to the left.
Okay, I see why he wants to do it. He wants to avoid the rock, but leaves an angle. If you did a 1 hard to the right, I'm a happy man.
Yeah, but who would 1 hard to the right?
It gets you away from the Proxmine.
And then Jewel does a bank boost, which maybe that's a 1 hard actually.
Looks like a 1 hard. That's a Daredevil boost,
but it's dang close.
Yeah.
Drops a Proxmine onto Rook. I roll 2 eyes. Funny enough, we didn't bother throwing it down because we were like, yeah, it hits. Then we go to check Grudge, and we're like, oh no, he's out. And then it's like, oh no, hang on, it's the actual bomb, not the ship.
Yeah.
So we go back and chuck the bomb actually on to make sure it just misses the bomb. So 1 damage. All right, cool. That's a shield.
Acceptable. Get your force back.
Isn't it while you defend?
Maybe it is. I don't know. I just assumed it was damage.
I assumed it was while you defend because it's not hate. Yeah.
It feels like it sometimes.
So 2 hard from Grudge and takes a focus. A 3 straight from Dread.
Yeah, that looks like a 3.
And he doesn't do an action, apparently. Why does it
doesn't look like he's in an action. Does he reload?
I don't think so. Oh, there we go.
Apparently no action. Wait, no, of course he can't reload. You can't reload Proxmines.
No. Kanan does a 1 bank to ditch the stress and takes the focus. Rook stops.
Nice.
Pops. Is this where I pop contraband? I must pop contraband because I've taken the focus.
Well, you have a focus token.
So yeah, I'm guessing I pop contraband.
Should be a target lock.
Yeah, it should be a target lock.
Dread's right there.
Yeah. Jill shoots off with a 3. Yeah, it's a 3 straight. And takes a focus. And Hollow does a 2 straight, I want to say.
Yeah, that looks like a 2 straight.
Takes a lock and a focus for a deplete. He has ditched that stress for the people who can see it. We just forget to move it. Bobber 1 hearts to the right.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. All right. If he turned hollow after me and I get shot,
then you get shot. But
then I
you
get shot.
live.
But I'm stressed. I can't. Yeah, that's it. I thought that's the only way. And I didn't even think that would dodge anything. I thought he just drops 1 on me. I think actually looking at it back, the 1 straight drop would have caught me instead of the 1 bank that he did.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like, I understand why he wanted the 1 bank, though. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, but it angles Dread away from the debris, and and if you do anything other than a 1 hard, the proxmine hits you. And I think this is one of those, like, it's a mistake as such. Like, I will know it is a mistake. Like, you have if you have a guaranteed drop that will guaranteed kill Boba Fett, do it, and you can and you just eat the consequences of whatever the result of that action is.
But I don't think that's the mistake. I think the mistake is assuming the proxmine would do it and not turning hollow after him.
Yeah, I mean, that's also true.
Like, turn hollow. Like, let's be fair, hollow's got enough speed and maneuverability that you just turtle for 1 turn and hard turn in the next turn. Like, guaranteed, but you know, Bob, if you can't guarantee it with the proxmine by putting it straight on him, get the shot.
Yeah.
So, especially with hollow, because you can make sure it's double modded. So
it's double modded, and Bobber would not. If Bobber survives, Bobber would not be able to shoot back.
It's double modded, and he's got concussion missiles. So if you fire 1 of those off, the likelihood is you probably get 3 results. That's him dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I roll. So, but then be it. So we go to the start of engagement. He passes the deplete off to somebody, to Jewel, and that's where he clocks that the stress is gone. He then shoots Rook.
Cane it.
I think this was a concussion missile. No, they're 3 dice anyway. I cane in it. He gets 2 hits. I'm strained, of course. I roll 1 eyeball. I spend a force, get the force straight back. Yep. I then notorious him.
Yay!
I did remember. And then I throw some salt. Bobber has a range 3 shot into Grudge.
Oh, this is just going to go badly, isn't it? You're going to crit him. Oh, I can even see the crit.
I roll hit crit. At hand. No mods. He's got 3 dice.
At least you had the force.
He's got 3 dice. I didn't spend it.
I know you didn't spend it, but at least you had a mod. That makes it...
He rolls trail mix, which means the crit's going through. Which means he's dead. So that is... Because that's 4 points for him, and Bobber didn't die. That's effectively a 13-point swing.
Yeah. That's painful. Grudge is dead.
Also, someone who isn't shooting Rook.
Yeah.
And he was the only person left with the proxmine.
That was the only other shot as well for the First Order, because Joel's not shooting, Dread's not shooting. Oh, you destroy this man, don't you? This is like sadness on wheels.
So Kanan has a, I think, range 3 shot into Dread. He rolls hit crit out of hand. Dread rolls 2 blanks and an evade. So he takes... I don't know, because I didn't do the overlay. Well, that's silly me. And then I shoot 3 dice. I think I go into the strained hollow.
I mean, that makes sense. Reroll. You strain yourself for your mods.
Yeah, I strain myself. I get 3 hits. He rolls eyeball blank, spends the focus, takes 2 damage, which leaves him on
hollow.
1.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I remember what I do here.
Oh, this to me for Kylo Rene, or Kylo Rene, this is like the game where like everything has somehow managed to go wrong.
Yeah, like I don't think he's flown, with the exception of not guaranteeing Boba. I don't think he's flown badly. He's caught me off guard. He's
like, I think he's flown very well because you clearly weren't expecting what he did, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I will grant that the shot into Grudge was incredibly lucky, but apart from that, I don't think dice have been overly swingy. I've just had the mods. And yeah, so at the end of that turn, I score 1 more objective. So 11-0. Rook's almost scored enough points to cover his cost just from hauling that objective around.
You mean Kanan?
No, Kanan doesn't have one. Rook has it.
Okay, well, Rook hasn't gained 7 points from objectives.
Not yet. He's gained 4, and he'll probably gain 2 more. And I said almost.
Slightly above half is not almost.
It's almost. It's the better part of.
The average game doesn't go the other 3 turns you need.
Yeah, okay, whatever. So we roll off, and I am second player again.
It's that bid, man. You just outbid him.
Yeah. So no boost from Dread, and a Daredevil hard boost from Jewel. Although, oh no, maybe he does boost and just forgets to do it in the right order. I don't know. I wasn't. I was just
at this point. Is it that bad?
No, I was just trying to stay silent at this point, if I'm honest. So a boost right from.
I don't think that can be Dread. A Daredevil boost from Jewel Jadero because he's already done 2 and he only has 2 charges, and I don't see a stress.
What? Does Daredevil have a charge?
No, Jewel Jadero's ability to remove the stress does.
Maybe it was a bank. Must have been a bank then.
Yeah.
So we go to the 3s, and he full straights Dread onto a rock. No. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all we can really say about that.
I mean, all right.
Like,
yeah, I don't like.
I want to be kind, but it's not overly close. Maybe he thought it would go less than it did.
Maybe he thought it would go through.
Maybe you accept the damage, but jump just the other side and pick up a crate. He rolls and takes a hit, so it's down to 3. I 1 bank with Rook to clear the stress and the strain I got.
And you finally take a target lock. Focus?
Yes, I focus, apparently. All right. I do a 3 bank with Kanan. Because I've decided
the crate.
Yeah, it's time he picks up the crate. And because I am slightly still concerned that Jewel can come in and plink that damage off Boba.
Yeah, I think you're safe from Hollow because if Hollow is turning to the right,
this turn. I don't think it happens this turn, but I think it happens maybe next turn. So if I pick up a crate this turn and I score 2, and I score 2 next turn, it's kind of built that slight more safety net.
Yeah.
If Boba dies, I've only got a 2-point safety net.
Yeah.
If I get those, suddenly I've got a 6-point safety net, and at that point I can afford to.
Makes sense.
I can afford to lose Boba and Kanan. And I don't think, honestly, there's enough time to kill Rook. So, but yeah, pick up the crate. A hard turn to the left with, with Jewel and a focus. And Hollow does a 2 bank over Rook.
I like that.
Takes a lock onto Kanan for a deplete, and then takes an evade.
Yeah, no, I like that. Like, it's just sort of I think I like the just making sure you have a defensive mod because you're on 1 health and you're gonna have to. Yeah. I think maybe you can't pass anything off this round because you're just out of range of Dread.
Bobber does a 1 hard and stays where he is with his 3 stress. I had to hard turn or I was going off the board, but I wanted to keep. I don't want to engage at range 3. Whereas next turn, I just try and jump in as fast as I can and hopefully get a range 0.
Yeah.
And then if I can survive that, I just shoot off. But as I say, by that point, I've scored the extra 4 points from objectives. So
yeah.
He can pass off the deplete.
Nice.
To Dread. And then he shoots into Kanan, which I obviously Kanan down.
It. Yeah.
And after mods, he's got 1 hit.
And you roll 1 of 8.
And I roll 1
Everyone
of 8.
loves Kanan. Well, actually, I say that I quite like Kanan. The trick to Kanan is just have 7 ships because you can't force mod them all.
Yeah. Bobber has no shot. Not Kanan. Rook has a shot into Jewel. And I take it. I take the strain for my ability. It's range 3. I roll hit blank, his ability for 3.
Nice.
He rolls evade 2 blanks. So 2 health left. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, screw the block. If I can get a range 1 shot from Bobber,
just kill him.
Yeah, there's a damn good chance I kill him with Bobber reroll, Fearless, and the Force. Who needs actions? Kanan goes range 2 into Hollow. Rolls eyeball. Elects not to spend his force.
Because your boy has an evade, so he's going to dodge it.
I get 2 points, so it's 13-0. And yeah, now it's a case of... Well, for me, it's more a case of just make sure Rook, and ideally Rook and Kanan don't die.
Yeah, Rook and Kanan don't die. Try and angle. I want Rook to either stop or try and turn in between those 2 rocks to his left.
The thing, I didn't think I could get into between the 2 rocks to his left.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can, but I think it's worth a try.
Although I'm trying to remember if they have a 1 hard. I don't think they do. And I think a 2 puts me on the rock.
They do not have a 1 hard.
But I'm pretty sure I win on objectives because even if my opponent picks up 3, which he's moving away from it, there's 12 and a half minutes left on the clock. Maybe we get 2 more rounds in. Was my thinking at this time.
I just realised I forget. Rook has a back arc, just too hard to the right. Yeah. Point your front arc towards where Hollow might be.
What I do like about Rook's ability is the fact that it's not if you are not strained, you may gain a strain. It's just gain a strain token. So you can stack them. So I don't have to do a blue to get rid of the strain I've got to be able to do it. Although there is a small part of me that really wants to check that now and make sure I'm not cheating.
I like that you've put a crit marker on Bobber. I'm like, look, sure, Bobber's not taking any actions. You don't need to worry about damage sensor array.
I mean, come on, you do the correct.
There is a 0 chance that Bobber is taking any actions for the rest of this game.
I mean, you do it properly, right? But anyway, we roll off, and unsurprisingly, my opponent is first player again. I've only been first twice this game.
So just to fill in on Rook. So Rook's thing is before you engage, you may gain 1 strain, and then second line, while you are strained, when you perform a primary attack, if you are strained, you may change one of your blank or focus results to a hit. So if you get Notorious, your ability is online. It's just whilst you have a strain token that your thing is on. So being being strained and taking another strain is irrelevant. Like if you have that strain token, you already can just do it.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Now, obviously, the before you engage bit is important because you can gain a strain token if someone's shot it off you.
Yeah.
But if you have a strain token from the previous turn, it's irrelevant. Your ability is just always online. I mean, not that it matters, but I do take a second strain in a minute. That's interesting. Shows how well I read my cards, right? So we go to system phase, and Dread boosts off the rock. Yeah, makes sense.
And Jewel doesn't do a boost. Then Dredd does a 3 hard to the left and takes a focus. I do a 2 bank from Kanan because I just want to keep his arc pointing at Rook and takes a focus. Rook stops, flips his wings and rotates towards Hollow.
Yeah, so front facing to the top right corner, back facing to the bottom right corner. You probably have a shot into someone.
Yeah. We forget
Hollow bumps.
Yeah, I mean it's not actually
We forget
Hollow's.
Joel.
I say it's not Hollow's turn, but we'll get back to that. Joel does, I think, a 1 straight, and takes a focus, and then Hollow bumps, but he's got Proud Tradition, so gets the focus.
So did he actually do a stress maneuver there? Because it looks like he just did a 2 bank and took a red focus.
It was a sloop.
Okay, so he should have 2 stresses.
And I do bring that up in a second, and you'll see another one go on. Bobber does I think it was a 3 bank, just trying to get distance.
Yeah, it looks like a 3 bank.
Here you go. See, oh no, it's not. So Hollow, what is this? This is
Hollow into Kanan. It looks
this
like.
is Hollow into Kanan. I'm surprised I didn't Kanan this actually. But I dodge it. Bobber goes into Jewel, rolls hit, focus, blank. I elect not to spend the force because...
Yeah, you can't kill him. Really here.
I mean, I could if he blanks out.
Well, you can, but you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
He rolls focus blank and elects to take the damage. I
can get behind that.
Yeah, you get the 1 through on Bobber.
Joel is getting his shot now that he has survived Bobber's shot. He is getting to shoot, and I think at this point, Kylo needs to just make sure he has the biggest chance of Bobber dying.
Yeah. So he takes that range 2 shot into Bobber. He rolls hit, focus. He spends the focus for 2 hits. I roll evade, focus, and spend the force.
You jammy git.
And then I do Kanan with the range 0 into Hollow, try and strip that focus. I roll crit.
Okay.
He rolls evade, focus, blank, so spends the focus.
Yeah. And the flip side of that is also if Kanan somehow kills Hollow, then Rook can just shoot into Joel.
Yeah. Although, if Kanan kills Hollow, I've won.
I mean, yes.
5 points plus the 2, but...
I mean, yes, but the point is, Kanan has a shot into 1 person, Rook has a shot in potentially 2. It's just correct to shoot Kanan first.
Oh, yeah. So Rook, I check his ability because I want to check it's not strained. Didn't realise I didn't need to take the second, so I do. Rolls range 1. Between mods, I get 4 hits, which means Hollow's dead because he's only got 3 greens.
Means you have won.
He rolls 3 eyeballs. So stripping that focus was good.
Yes.
And yeah, that's 5 points for Hollow. Then the 2 points for the crates being held by Rook and Kanan for 20-0. Which I think when I messaged you guys in the chat, said was not a representative score of the game. I still don't think was a representative.
It's not. It sort of is ish, based off the fact that Kylo did assume that Bobber would die to the prox mine. That assumption made, he then positioned himself that he literally could not finish off Bobber. Yeah. And he ended up in some really awkward positions. He didn't do a whole lot of shooting the last couple of rounds.
I felt personally that I deserved to win. Because even if Bobber had died, I'd put myself in a position where that doesn't put me behind. And by the time Bobber was dying, we got 2 rounds in after that. Maybe you kill Kanan.
Yeah.
I don't think you kill Rook. And
what's interesting to me is that with the outset of Bobber not being dead, his moves with his bombers strike me as a bit odd because Dredd and Joel Gerard kind of went off into Narnia.
I mean, I kind of get why Dredd did there, because I think he's just preserving points.
Yeah.
And Joel, I suppose, was trying to get away from Rook and then swing back around towards Bobber.
Let me just remind myself. Right, I know the Bombers do have a turnaround, so it was curious to me that with Bobber not dying, his thought wasn't, I must just keep shooting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's only Kylo knows, but
yeah. I mean, I don't want to come. I don't know what the thought process was. I wasn't there in the time because he was playing really well, and I guess maybe literally Bobber didn't run over the prox mine and it all went to pot.
Yeah,
and I think maybe he just overreacted to that situation.
I mean, you can tilt when stuff like that happens, can't you? It's easy to do, and I've certainly done it.
It's one of those where you're just kicking yourself because you're just what I thought was a given, my opponent has done the move that just completely saves him.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because I said to you at the time, who does the one hard? But I was always doing that one hard because it is the only, and no one, maybe Hollow comes in, he's the only one that could. But if I'd gone straight, Hollow comes in, boosts and locks and whatever, still gets the shot, and there's nothing I can do about that. So my hope was that I turn, I dodge it, and I have a range 1 shot out the back into somebody, which also nets me a defensive reroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way it goes. So yeah, win for round 1.
And spoiler alert, I also won my game. It was a lot closer than this one. It was 18-16 in the end. Absolute slugfest.
And our teammate must be getting near the end of his match, so we'll find out whether we've 3-0.
A clean sweep or no? There's a small part of me that's like, please no clean sweep. Please no clean sweep. Let's get another 2-1 team.
I mean, yeah, you kind of want that, don't you? But
can Mr. Vickery throw?
No, don't throw.
No, absolutely don't throw. But there's a small part of me I want you to win, but at the same time, now that we've won, I don't want you to win.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is if we don't beat someone who's played in the XTC, then that's the excuse Chris is going to use for the entire tournament.
Well, no, we know the excuse Chris is going to use the entire tournament. We're just being polite and not saying it.
It's his dad.
Fine. I'm being polite and not saying it.
But yeah, I think, going back to the game, I think I played reasonably well. I think the mistakes were optimization mistakes. A couple of maneuvers, like the turn in with Rook, whether I should have done that or the bank.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think your biggest mistake was underestimating what his list can do.
Okay.
Because
underestimating where the bombers can get.
Yeah, basically, I think underestimating just where the bombers can be, and because there is another world where Bobber is completely screwed because Rook and Kanan are looping around that debris and can't help him.
Yeah, for sure. That's.
I would argue that your Georgia Gerard jumping over Bobber and you banking into him and bumping saved you a world of pain. Well, actually, no, maybe it's hard. Bobber at range 1 is always hard to tell what is going to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
if you land in front of those 3 bombers, he can't prox mine you next turn, but you are taking a bunch of shots.
Yeah, he can't prox me next turn, but I'm taking a bunch of shots with rerolls. I'm getting a a range one shot into one of the ones that's shooting me, as opposed to I got a range one shot into the one that wasn't shooting me. Although the flip side of that is I wouldn't have got the range 3 shot into Scorch.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been double tapping, right?
So
you'd have been Like it's hard to There's no way to say how that would have gone, because there is a world where the bombers do loads or the bombers do nothing, and then they can't prox mine you, and Bobo gets away scot free.
Yeah, exactly. And the other flip of that is if they'd remained behind me, they take the proton bomb. So
yeah.
It worked for me, and I was lucky. No denying that.
Yeah, at least that's where my opinion says. I think just underestimating where the bombers can go.
Yeah,
hurt you a lot, and like I said, like I said at the time, if Dread does the one straight prox mine, Bobber is dead, and this game it gets very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I
still think you're in a good position to win.
I still maintain I've done enough to probably get it.
Oh yeah. I still think you're in a good position to win,
but it's harder.
But yeah, it's harder, and he can definitely get back into it.
But I mean, I suppose the flip side of that is Bobber surviving didn't actually do anything until that last turn against Jewel.
Yeah. I mean, it just banked points, right?
Yeah, but my point is even if Bobber had died, and the points carry on the way they are, then it's 29.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, Grudge wouldn't have died. So it depends. The prox mine killed him. Yeah,
like I said,
it's hypothetical, isn't it?
There's two bigger hypotheticals to go into. Bobber dying, Grudge lives, he's still got the prox mine. He gets a shot, blah 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 blah. Stuff is alive. The game gets interesting. I think you're in a good position to win, but there is avenues to return. I think we can't really go much deeper into that without going into complete galaxy brain.
Yeah. Then you're in the weeds. And
yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was, I mean, from my perspective, it was a good game. It probably wasn't on the other side, but
I mean, it probably didn't feel like a good game for Mr. Kylo. This is one of those things where the score is a feels bad, but it was I think he was in it right up until the end.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It was the end of turn 5, Bob were not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we will wrap it up for this week. We'll be back next week with some more Kyber.
Yeah.
Whether that's round 1 or round 2.
If I get a good game, we'll see how that goes.
And if you don't, we'll record your game. We'll do your game from this week anyway.
Yeah.
But on that note, we'll just say see you guys next week.
Ta-ta. The tins are on the way up. And also down.
Tins on top, but not for long.
No, tins on top and bottom of Kyber.
Yeah, well, that's the Paul Burnett boys, isn't it?
Yeah, no. We are the bread of the Kyber sandwich.
Yes. I like that. Right. Catch you guys later.
Bye.